Umpire Howlett and umpire Robinson in charge. Ross Glendinning won the toss and chose to kick to the scoreboard goal. He tossed with Robert Flower. There's a heap of talent between those two. Disappointing crowd, and the first blemish. There's a fight on behind centre half forward, and down they go. That's Brian Wilson coming in. Well, these two teams that are reputedly very fair ones. Grinter is underneath it. And Rodney Grinter is one of the hotheads of the Melbourne side. It wasn't Danny Hughes. There's Big Keane comes in. O'Dwyer, of course, who's tough and fiery.
Grinter and Holmes were the initial combatants, and Holmes' helmet was off. Number 33, who we saw and you may have seen kick 7 goals at Carrara last weekend. Rod Grinter fairly often in that sort of action, one would have to say. John Holmes not so often, but he was obviously pulled by the helmet. Yep,
and I was just going to say, Tim, Laurie Keane obviously upset by the whole situation. And umpire Robinson talks to Grinter. And my suggestion is that Don Holmes wouldn't have started it. And it's umpire Robinson's feeling, I think. So it's not a fast and fiery opening, but certainly it's a fiery opening. And umpire Howlett is now back ready, with 1 minute and 7 seconds ticking away before the ball has been bounced. And the first bounce, a very disappointing crowd in nice conditions. O'Dwyer, a big one, doesn't gain a lot with it. Malaxos underneath it, kicked off the ground. The umpires will blow the whistles pretty quick. They'll indicate they're in charge, and the free kick is going to go to Stephen Malaxos in the centre of the ground.
To half forward, Keane the target, has to go the spoil from behind O'Dwyer. Lewis in great form of late. Gastev the knock on. Holmes held, appealing for the free. The umpire having none of it. Ian Robinson will bounce inside the 50-metre line. The Eagles in attack. Ron Alexander and his boys looking for only their second victory in Melbourne for the season, and what a big one it would be.
A contrary bounce, good punch by O'Dwyer. Little dribble over the side, which gained nothing, but it was good football by Bailey. And it's out of bounds.
Ross Glendinning is lined up in the back pocket on big Jim Stynes, so an interesting one by Alexander. Must be concerned about their height.
They were short of height last week, Kevin, I'm sure you'd agree, and I'm not surprised to see Glendinning back there in the back line. Here's an opportunity now for Viney. Viney's on the half-back flank, sends it high. Robert Flower comes for the big leap, and it's spoilt by his own teammate Stretch. He would have marked it. And it's out wide from Lamb. Lamb eventually down towards Hart. Hart then steadies and boots it down over the head of O'Dwyer. By word, that was a good mark. Wonderful courage, backed into the pack and took a good one.
Straight across ground to Hughes, coming off full-back, looking to play on. Lucky it wasn't called such by the umpire, but from half-back. Inspirational Hughes, fine player for the Demons. Flower spoiled by Worsfold. Mainwaring and Stretch in the back. Yes, it is in the back, quite clearly to us. Not everyone in the small crowd agreeing, but I don't think there was much doubt, and Mainwaring takes it behind the wing.
Kicks it down towards centre half forward. White's the leaper from behind. Here comes a chance for Grinter. Grinter lost the run of it, then went through, tackled, held with the ball. Might be lucky. He is lucky. Could have been penalised. Umpire Robinson indicating he's going to bounce it. It's on the half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground.
The Eagles claiming they haven't really come to grips with that rule. But the interpretation hasn't always treated them fairly. They thought they should have got a free kick then. Big thump Spalding to space on the wing. Turner tripped. Clear free kick. Again, the crowd not happy. It's a poor crowd. Not that cold a Friday night in Melbourne, and we thought there'd be many more here for such an important game. Turner to full forward. Chance Lockyer. Lewis now, the magic man. But well played, Sharon. At his third club, after coming through St Kilda and Footscray, the first score of the match is a behind, rushed, and it's beside the Eagles' name.
Danny Hughes kicks out and kicks it very wide. Nice, strong effort by Viney. Frustrate the last moment. Chance for Lovett. Tackled by Lewis. Grinter again. Grinter gets his kick down. Over the head of Lyon it goes. Robbie Flower gets a very awkward bounce. Lyon recovers quickly. He's in trouble from Miles. Flower's with it. turns and twists, look out for Keane, beats another one, onto his left foot and hooks it back. In front, the chances there, and the mark is taken by Mainwaring. Mainwaring quickly onto Lamb. Lamb, a very trusty left footer, kicks it wide, not all that well this time. Underneath it, Hart lost an opportunity. Diving after it was Bailey there. On top is Turner. Free kick is claimed by Turner, not allowed, goes to the Demons.
And this time the crowd applauds. Bailey to Wilson. Spearing kick to half forward. Not sure for whom it was meant. Miles, dangerous. Viney, Keane, the tackle was good. Paddle on also good to Hart. Wilson, 50 metres out. Viney, stretch, 45 metres out. Long, straight. First goal on a big night goes to the Demons. Stephen Stretch puts them in front by 5 points after 5.5 minutes of toil.
And Stretch has been one of those really good pickups. Didn't come across to Victoria with a big reputation. I think Crackers Keenan may have been responsible for recruiting him to Melbourne, but he's made the state team for South Australia, playing across the half-back line. And certainly he's always been a magnificent kick.
He's been a splendid player. He's really played every match just about since he's arrived for the Demons. He's played 19 this season. In come the big fellows once again. Keane did it well. Past Robbie Wiley it goes. Robbie Wiley follows on Turner. Turner to Wiley is good. Wiley then left foots it downfield. And in front a good strong mark taken by Sean White.
Said Sharon's come through 2 clubs. White's come through 2 countries, Scotland and Ireland, to Australia to play football for the mighty Demons. And hasn't he played some good footy? Turner, Wiley. But a poor kick under pressure. O'Dwyer in the way, on the centre line. The MCG is a great sight under the lights tonight. Shocking kick, O'Dwyer. Fortuitously into the arms of Lyon, and even the Demons fans are embarrassed.
Garry Lyon back to form last week. He's one of the exciting players. Keane in front. Nice spoil there by Stynes. High in there from Brennan. Doesn't cover any distance at all. Nice pick up by Hart. Back it comes to Mainwaring from Malaxos. Mainwaring steadies and drives the half-forward line. Wonderful leap by White, but missed the thump as he punched at it. McNish is there with him. White gets it back into territory. Nice football it was too. Very short one goes straight to Mainwaring. He fumbles badly, stretches with it. Stretch left foots it back. Over the head of Stynes it goes, and it's marked at centre half back by Glendinning.
Not sure where to go. Eventually gets a good lead from Lewis. Doesn't quite carry. Grinter. 2 teammates. Stretch. Doing well. Has kicked the only goal so far. Long to half forward. Anir at the back. And Brennan. Beautifully done. Great snatch and then a fine sidestep. And superb delivery to Gastev. Just too far. Sharon crashing into him. And then winning the ball. Fine play. Spalding, forward of the centre. Good pass. Williams on the 50-metre line when he kicks, or just outside it. Lovely movement by the Demons. And Williams will kick from about 52 metres. Could do it. Hasn't. The Demons' first minor. They lead by 1 straight kick after 8.5 minutes.
Well, the Eagles have had a lot of play, and yet the Demons in front on the scoreboard. Ross Glendinning indicated by the umpire. Umpire hadn't finished waving his flags. The goal umpire sent back, kicks it out wide, looking for Laurie Keane. Keane makes a good long lead, then misses what he might have taken. Wilson comes in, picks it up. Very long hand pass isn't good. Anir in front of Healy. Anir nicely out wide to Barrage. Barrage then sent it downfield. In front, the mark is nicely taken by the aggressive White.
Just behind the centre line. Stynes and Glendinning, and now a throw in on Melbourne's half-forward flank. The Eagles struggled to hold Melbourne at bay in Perth, beating them by 16 points. On that form and on the Eagles' form away from home, one would imagine Melbourne might have their day at atonement tonight. throw in 50 metres out.
And Worsfold has the job on Robbie Flower, playing on the half-forward line, and Worsfold last week went into the centre for the Eagles, but this week half-back flank.
This has been a great player for them, a good blanketer. He blanketed Phil Cracker in Perth, and that's a difficult one. Wilson, well done. Lyon, 50-metre mark, kicks it long and kicks it straight. Beautiful kick. All making the best of their opportunities, and that was brilliant football. Garry Lyon, that young man who's just so full of talent, came from up Kyabram way, but really steadied and with great aplomb rammed it through.
We see Brian Wilson with those quick hands out to Lyon, and he is a magnificent kick, Doug. And the forward line's functioning well for Melbourne. Lyon's moving around a lot at centre half forward, and so is Stephen Stretch, who at one stage looked to be up on the half-back line, but he gets back into defence, but really is playing on the half-forward line. So there's a lot of movement on their forward line at this stage.
So the Demons have kicked the first two. Viney now. And a good hand pass to Stretch. Good kick too under pressure. Jackson scouts well. Out in front of Williams. Should have held it. 50 metres from goal. Long snap is good. The Demons have got 3. The last 2 coming in 30 seconds. They are really pumped up. And at the 11-minute mark, they lead by 18 points.
Well, it's a great start. Ricky Jackson, the former Richmond player. You see Williams there with plenty of time after missing what was a simple mark, able to steady, and prior to the first bounce, he was out practicing goal shooting with the Melbourne runner, and it paid off then.
That puts him 1 goal in front of Robert Flower for the leading goal kicker for the season. 34 goals to Williams. Well played O'Dwyer. Thumps it downfield. Good bump Worsfold. Nicely picked up by Yeats. Yeats downfield. Robert Flower gets the call from behind. Leave it come. And he let it go, and Williams takes a fine mark. Well, this really is a tough shot. He's right against the fence. He's 50 metres from goal. So an extremely acute angle. But David Williams, short for the key post, but a wonderful pair of hands normally. Comes in to shoot for goal. He's kicked one for the night. Right to the teeth of goal. In front there was Miles. Past Mainwaring it goes. There is Wiley. He's over the line. No, he's not. Play on, says the boundary umpire. Kicks it downfield and kicked it very badly straight to Yeats.
Shocker. Stretch just too far for him. But at the back, Bailey. 65 metres from goal. The Demons are moving. The Eagles aren't. Spalding up from half back. That is movement. He saw the chance to run into space on the half-forward line. Came all the way up the ground. And now, one of the Demons' prize recruits this year, Earl Spalding. The chance to put them 4 goals in front, and what a flying start it would be. Lovely kick off the boot, but just offline. Marked on the wrong side of the line. It's a behind to the D's. They lead 20-1 after 13 minutes, as the big Russian, Alex Ischenko, is doing a bit of stretching, and we might see him in the fray before long.
Yes, if the game goes against him, it won't be long at all. Out wide it goes. Good leap from behind by Hart. By Barrage it was. Barrage got the chance, well punted away. Wilson slick to Stretch. Stretch tries to get around Mainwaring and does. Downfield it goes. Williams in front position. Over the back it comes. He's got the run of it, but the ball will beat him over the line as Brennan tackles him, and it's out of bounds. And there's Miles. Jeff Miles having a bit of an altercation. Brennan comes in to assist. David Williams says stay out of it.
Garry Lyons, the Demon, sprawled at the bottom of it all. Not one we normally associate with that sort of thing, but he and Miles just having a tiff. Lover's tiff, perhaps.
Well, they're both pumped up, obviously, by the coach prior to the game because it's so important. And temper's a little bit frayed.
14 minutes gone. Melbourne with the only 3 goals of the match beside their name. And they're deep in attack. The throw-in is just 7 or 8 metres around from the right behind post. Stynes against Keane. And late on the scene, Lyon. Turner now. Which way to go? Places it well at half-back. Barrage, Lamb, Holmes and Grinter, who were at it before the first bounce, and Grinter wins. But Barrage wins it back for the Eagles. Spalding to Wilson. 60 metres out. 55 as he kicks to Williams at full forward. Almost. Big chance. Pressure from Brennan. Good tackle. Behind to Melbourne. But the Demons are in control, doing all the attacking. 6 scoring shots to 1 and a 20-point lead at the 15-minute mark.
And when the Eagles win the ball, Tim, they're just wasting it with silly short passing out towards the boundary line to a teammate, and it's not hitting him on the chest, and they're not making any distance.
It was a very big kick that time by Brennan. A fine mark taken by Glendinning. Took it away from Bailey. David Williams has kicked 1 goal too, so been very prominent in the forward line. Garry Lyon's also been an achiever, as is Stretch and Wilson. Glendinning now kicks it out very wide, looking for Gastev. Gastev up in front. Ball's punched away from him. It's over the line, out of bounds. Chris Lewis is at centre half forward, and at this stage the Eagles having a lot of trouble crossing that half forward line.
It's pretty small across there, Doug.
Yep.
Glendinning then had to kick out to Gastev. They've just got no key forward who can take the marking duels.
Great hand pass, Viney to Wilson. Forward of the wing. Good pass to Williams. That is delivery. The only way he could miss that is if it was coming so hard that it bounced off his sternum. Laces out, Kev.
Yes, no bruising that time, Tim.
Had to fall over to take it, a bit inconvenient.
Inside 50 as he kicks. He's kicked 1. Going for the Demons' 4th. He's missed it badly. 22 plays 1 at the 16.5-minute mark.
Well, he could so easily. They've given the Demons a very, very commanding lead. He's taken a couple of good marks, but he's kicked 1-3. Now he looks out there for Keane. Keane punches it when he should have marked it. Coming through very strongly was Grinter. Dwyer goes out to the boundary line, dodges very cleverly. Hand pass doesn't do anything to Keane, who dodges so effectively, and he's caught. Super tackle, Viney. Super tackle. One of Melbourne's very best tacklers is Todd Viney, and he really took the big fella on. When he thought he could get past him, went straight at him. And that's the way to tackle. Don't hesitate, don't prop, and he did it beautifully. And now Viney's got a 15-metre penalty. He'll send it right down to the teeth of goal. David Williams leaps high. Over the back, it's Worsfold. Worsfold's looking for someone to kick to. Very wide is Malaxos, and a wonderful pass finds him. Malaxos, who also uses the ball well, gets it out to Turner. Turner's in trouble. Straight to Wilson. Wilson will boot them back into attack.
More waste from the Eagles. And Wilson, for the second time in a couple of minutes, delivers with total precision and hits the other member of the Irish Brigade, Jim Stynes, on the chest. Ample chest it is too. And with finesse, he gives it to Lyon, who is just outside 50 metres.
Well, the Eagles have really been over the centre line. They just can't penetrate, mainly because coming off the back line, they're so short up forward that they're trying to kick short passes, and they're just not coming off.
They scored the first score of the match, are behind after a couple of minutes, and have hardly been in attack since. Long kick, Lyon. Keane the spoil. Worsfold trying to force it through. Glendinning eventually doing that. And Melbourne scoring its 5th behind as its interchange players Newport and Coop wait for their opportunity, but they mightn't get it the way Melbourne are going. They're in the van.
Well, I think Ron Alexander will have to bring some height onto the ground when they're rushing, so put Keane up forward. They've got to do something. They have something to kick to. And very strong football, Wilson, who's been dominant. Out to Stretch. Stretch down towards that full forward zone. Nice punch there from Worsfold. Over the top it goes, and back it goes from Viney. A very good kick, but Healy couldn't quite reach it. Anear's his opponent. Anear beats him well, then slips at the crucial moment and was legged and will take a free kick. Umpire Robinson, very quick on the scene there, and Johnny Anear takes the free kick. He's played here many a time before when he played with the Tigers.
And having his best year of VFL football at his 3rd league club after Collingwood and Richmond. Jackson, now Viney, good player early. Yeats, support from Lyon. Grinter with vigour, but Turner meets him and does well with support. Plenty of shepherders there, but again, nothing to kick to. Spalding, Lewis in pursuit. Well played, Spalding. Viney, felled after kicking, no free. Lamb, always solid. And now there's a whistle and a relayed free kick. It's going to the Eagles. It mightn't be relayed. It looks as though Lamb's got to go all the way back and take his free behind the wing.
Turner's done some good work on that half-back line for the Eagles. Lamb been a very dependable defender over the year. Tries to find Holmes. Holmes misses what he should have taken, and Grinter takes it away from him, then hooks it back towards centre-half forward. Late on the scene is Stynes. Never looked like it. Beautiful football by Robert Flower. Down he goes from a fine bump from Worsfold. Glendinning across to Mainwaring. They're fumbling everywhere, the Eagles. Chance for Flower once again. Taken away from him. Good fighting football. Back it comes. Malaxos takes a hand pass from Healy of Melbourne. Underneath it is Holmes. Misses what he might have taken. Very bad miss. Here comes big Sean White. Kicks for goal. Over the top of his teammate, of his opponent goes, but it's through for one behind.
He's inspiring.
He's a dasher.
For the man of play Melbourne's had so far in the game, Johnny Northey would be pretty disappointed that they're not further ahead.
And the big Russian is off the bench now. Kicks the ball to the centre. Too far for Barrich. Healy, well tackled by Anir. Barrich now on the centre line. Well met by Lyon. And the Demons are vigorous, determined. The only thing they're not doing right is converting. Wilson, who's been very good. Great placement for Flower, who has, it's Viney, who's got a proverbial kilometre. Inside 50 metres, drives for home and misses yet again, and it's 3 out of 10. 30% for the Demons. Are they frittering away their hold on the match as McNish prepares to come in for West Coast?
Well, Todd Viney, who's rightly famous because when he was a wee tot, he beat Boris Becker in the tennis field. Becker being about 3 or 4 years younger than that stage, but he beat him.
He was 14 and Becker was 12, apparently.
Yeah, I thought it was 3 years difference, 14 to 11. Doesn't matter, he beat him. Even though it might have been a mismatch at that stage.
Kevin Curran was about 12 years older than Becker, and he couldn't at Wimbledon.
Yeah, a lot of difference when it comes to that age. Picked up by John Anir. John Anir downfield. Underneath it is Viney, the man we're talking about, who takes a splendid mark. He's been one of Melbourne's best tacklers for the season. Very strong player. Wilson playing brilliantly. Out to stretch. He's got the hand pass to get out towards the half-back line. Nice play across from Lovett. Look out, Chiron, but does it nicely. Bailey clever. Stynes shoots for goal. Stynes kicks it long and wastes another opportunity. This time it's too wide. Just squeezed through for one behind.
Well, big Stein and O'Dwyer have done very, very well in the ruck. O'Dwyer, particularly when he planks himself across the half-back line, and Stynes doing okay up forward with Glendinning being his opponent.
Well, the Demons were 3-1. And now they're 3-8, so they've kicked 7 straight behinds. Brennan, bad, out on the full.
And that's typical of their play in this opening quarter, just going wide to the boundary line with little error, a little margin of error.
Quite rightly, 15 metres against McNish, who in self-disgust, or in disgust at Brennan, I suppose, dropped the ball. Lovely kick from Bailey, a curler. Huge distance. Offline, behind number 9. 27 plays 1. It's like a practice gallop for the Demons at the moment. Little opposition.
Isn't that a deplorable scoreboard? Nevertheless, 3 goals, 9. And everyone's been a deliberate shot. Out wide, Yeats is in position. Might be free kicked, he's not. Holmes is with it. Out wide to Barrich. He kicks downfield. Over the head of Lockwood goes, taken by Hughes. Hughes then boots Melbourne into attack. Nobody at home except the big Irishman. And Jim Stynes, Bigorra and Bigosh, puts it downfield looking for Robert Flower. Robert Flower never looked like it. And a fine tumbling mark is taken there on the half-back flank, or in back pocket by Worsfold. Oh, it's very, very dangerous to Brennan. Oh, that's very bad football. The concept was wrong and the kick was appalling.
Embarrassingly bad, which might be what Alexander and Barry Richardson are thinking.
Well, we often associate the Eagles with being very, very skillful, but not so far tonight.
Glendinning. And he too kicks the ball out on the full. And it is amazing to see the Eagles playing like this. This is the team that's beaten Carlton and Hawthorn in the last month. Across the Nullarbor, now Lovett, who will kick from outside 50 metres, but he's having a shot nonetheless. And if the Demons start finding the opening, heaven help the Eagles. Flower, now did he mark it inside? He did. So, the veteran, the champion, is going to use the reverse punt kick to Banana from the acutest angle. Says, I can't come much further. This will test him. Too tough even for Flower, out on the full. A lot of out on the fulls recently, and a free kick to the Eagles.
There it is. I think if there's a feature of this magnificent player's play, it is his wonderful marking. Good pass. Oh, shocking pass and a slip. Glendinning might get them out of trouble. You better hurry, Gasteff, which he does, and Brennan's with the ball. Very strong player, boots out of trouble towards centre wing position. Hart makes an effort over the top of Wilson, but it's pushed over the line. It's out of bounds. Between centre wing and half forward flank with the Demons in attack on the grandstand side.
I wonder if this first quarter says something about the tactic of being on the road with the team for so long. The Eagles have been away from home for over a week now, and somehow they just haven't settled down. Main Waring kicks long towards Lewis. Spalding behind him. Hughes accidentally finds stretch just forward of the centre. Williams gives a long lead. That's where he goes. Good spoil, Brennan. Gastev. Bad kick again. Stretch, a star. And finds Williams.
That's a great mark.
Sure was. Two of them bearing down. A lot of courage. One-eyed supporter. 4 marks to David Williams, who very much a decoy full forward, but he's giving Melbourne a focal point.
I think he's a bit more than a decoy full forward, Tim, because the Melbourne players do look for him. He's pretty quick off the mark.
Doesn't quite make the distance. Stynes, Lyon. Good tackling, Ischenko. Ball up in Melbourne's goal square, and the ball's been there or thereabouts for just about the full 27 minutes of this quarter, as Melbourne have had 12 scoring shots to 1 for a 26-point lead.
And they were 3-1, and they've degenerated slowly to 3-9, or got there, but it's been a pity from the Demons' point of view as Glendinning kicks them out wide. Chance for Lovett behind the back. Slipped at the crucial time. Out wide, Flowers got 2 against him. Well played, Worsfold. Into his own teammate, which is typical of the side. Ricky Jackson, well done. Super kick to Healy. And Healy takes the mark and has a wonderful chance to make the Melbourne scoreboard look more accurate. They're 3-9. He's only about 35 metres out on a slight angle. Laurie Keane has moved into the full forward zone, incidentally, and O'Dwyer has moved down with him. And Keane is going to have a rough old night, because this Stephen O'Dwyer is a really wild, vigorous, tough player. Here comes Healy. That's good. No, it's not good. 3-10.
It's relatively good. It got close.
It got closer. Maybe they're sneaking up on him. 9
straight behinds. Worsfold, who's got the job on Flower, as he had at Subiaco a couple of long months ago. Kicks now to the wing. White, charging at the pack like a bull at a gate. Forward of the wing now. Puts the Demons deep into attack. Nothing there for them this time, and Brennan, who's been a good defender, one to stand firm amidst the onslaught, takes it well and passes badly. Viney, now Healy, who missed a moment ago, 45 metres out. He's missed again. Williams, well spoiled by Glendinning. Flower now, another chance. Oh, he thought there was someone on his hammer when there wasn't, and Brennan clears.
Brennan out wide looking for Holmes. Holmes pursued by Grinter. Ball beats them both out of bounds. Melbourne still in attack, just ticking towards the 29-minute mark. The match didn't actually get into motion for 1 minute and 10 seconds because Grinter and Holmes started a little bit of a war, a fight before the match started. There was Stynes getting it out, picked up by Viney. Viney's been good in this first term. Doesn't cover much distance and kicks it badly. Lammer's with it. Lammer hand pass out wide is good football. Back it comes. Malaxos now. Malaxos very long. Sean White's got the chance with a big leap. Never looked like it from behind. It was Hughes. Yeats misses it. Wiley clever. Out to Barrage. Barrage runs into a barrage of trouble. Pulled out there were Melbourne. Keane nicely done, but it wasn't nicely done because eventually put it straight out to Danny Hughes, who finds Lovett. Lovett steadies and kicks it well. Out to Bailey, and the Demons are going downfield once again. In comes big Jim Stynes. A very bad bounce.
And he's not the most mobile man in the world. Malaxos to half-forward. Gastev and White again. He's an exciting player. 4 marks in this first quarter, which has just ended. It went for a few seconds under 30 minutes, and Sean White finished it in exciting style. And Melbourne have dominated the first term in a way we wouldn't have thought imaginable, as they've had 13 scoring shots to 1, and they could have sewn it up, but they've kicked poorly. Their goal kickers have been Lyon, Williams and Stretch, and at quarter time Melbourne 3-10-28 lead the West Coast Eagles 1 behind.
And a centre bounce again with Melbourne 3-10 in the squandering first quarter, 28 points. The West Coast Eagles, a very bad one, 1 point. Well played that time by Keane. Got it long downfield. It's kicked down there by McNish. Leading in the race for the ball is Sean White. Kicked it off the ground when maybe he should have picked up, and it goes straight to Gastev. Gastev steadies, kicks it downfield. Not a good one. It's all Melbourne, but there's only one who leaps, the big Russian. Well, I thought there were 2 Melbourne players in position. I guess from a height it's sometimes difficult to pick it accurately, but big Alex Ischenko in the centre of them takes the mark, and Gastev was the man who got it to him. And Sean White, a bit anxious to kick it off the ground occasionally. In his many sporting prowesses, he's played soccer as well as Gaelic football, and maybe that answers that. But he's played a spectacular first term, 4 wonderful marks. Here's the Eagles' chance to kick their first goal, and they do. That's 1-1 to Melbourne 3-10. And despite the fact that Melbourne have absolutely dominated the match, their lead is not a big one.
Now, that's one of the problems, Doug, when you kick inaccurately, that you always give the opposition a chance to get back into the game. But it's a good move to have Ischenko down there, because they fell down so badly with lack of height in that first quarter. And also, Malaxos now has moved into the centre, and Hart, who was playing in the centre on Wilson early, has now moved onto the ball.
So often when teams kick badly for such a long time, suddenly the pendulum swings. The Eagles into attack again, but Wilson drives Melbourne out of defence. There's Wilson. Hart on the wing for the Eagles. Holmes now puts a near under the hammer. Malaxos. Holmes. Now Keane, forward of the centre, to full forward. Lewis in the pocket, impossible angle, and misses the whole target. Gives away a free kick. But suddenly, the Eagles winning the ball and putting the Melbourne defence under a bit of pressure.
Chris Lewis's first touch. Centre half forward, a position that this young 18-year-old I don't think is quite ready for yet.
All big enough, Doug.
All big enough, yeah. He's big.
Spalding, you know, is a much bigger.
Yeah, Spalding's 6'4", Kev. He's very deceptive in his height. He doesn't look that high. There's a man who is high. Keane couldn't take it. Fighting for it there is Lockyer. Hand pass comes out on half-back flank. Grinter bolting downfield is now centre wing. Sends it back towards centre half forward. Punch down in front, Flower. Flower battling with Viney, which wasn't good. Nice play, Bailey. Lyon's kick is smothered. Good play, Viney again. Out wide, and Mainwaring shows speed. Yeats takes him on. Mainwaring wins it. Over the back it goes. Good mark.
That would have went over
Very good tumbling mark from one who's about 10 foot high. Big Laurie Keane.
Bad kick. Shocking kick by his standards. Lockyer. Ania now. Bad bounce. Play on as the call, despite the call of ball. Gastev, Lockyer, half-forward flank. Holmes steals front position from Grinter, who wins the ball well. Good spoil by Malaxos on Wilson, and the throw-in on the Eagles' half-forward line. But they're a more competitive-looking side in the first 4 minutes of this second term.
I think those moves by Alexander Malaxos onto Wilson and Hart onto Ruck Roving is going to help him in this quarter.
Yes, I agree, Kev. Malaxos has been the heart of the machine for the West Coast Eagles. Nice mark as we talk about him. Malaxos in the last few matches has been a wonderful player. 34 possessions and 28. Good kick, Gastev, and bad luck, Lockyer. Almost took a good one. Strong play, Grinter again. Nah, lost the run of it. Picked up by Lovett. love it towards the centre wing position, and the big fellow O'Dwyer takes his third mark.
And he's done it well across the half-back line, Doug, falling back, plugging up that hole.
Not such a great kick, but it works. Sharon with courage. "25 VFL games for 3 clubs. Kicks to half forward. Main Waring in front. Now near. McNish in the back half. Barrich well caught by Yeats. Malaxos. And his soccer kick is straight into the arms of a former soccer player, Sean White.
He takes his 5th mark and kicks like a soccer player. It was a shocker. Out to Lewis. Lewis in front of Spalding downfield. Danny Hughes is in front position. Good mark. Very good mark against the big fellow Ischenko. Then out to Grinter. Grinter kicks it out towards centre wing, looking for Wilson, who had 11 possessions in the first term. And Wilson wasn't too happy with that kick and indicated his displeasure to Daniel. It's out of bounds.
Rather the rosin. 10 wins, 10 losses to both of these teams. Gastev to Hart. Half forward flank, ran a long way and kicks atrociously for a throw in, but the Eagles for 5.5 minutes now have virtually monopolised it in their attacking half, which is a very different story from the first half and looking more like the team that beat Melbourne by 16 points in round 9.
Yes, they're in attack. It's been thrown in right beside their attacking point post. In comes John O'Neill. Nice play out to Sean White again from centre wing position. Now is a chance for Stretch, who's been one of the dominant players. To Bailey is awkward for Bailey. Short across the half forward flank is very clever, and running with the flight of the ball, it's very comfortably taken. Viney, his 12th possession is not a good one. Stynes is with it, dodges, you better hurry. Caught, down he goes. Picked up nicely there by Brennan, who's been a sound defender. Out it goes to Glendinning. Glendinning kicks it short and kicks it very well to Lockyer.
Oh, bad hand pass, but finds McNish. 2 against 1 in Melbourne's favour. Gastev with the numbers against him did pretty well. Hughes, Holmes the tackler. Hughes to half back. Now the Eagles with 2 against 1. Yeats the flyer. Wilson at ground level was brilliant. Sharon doing well in defence. Yeats from just behind the centre circle to Flower. Beats Worsfold.
Worsfold in the first quarter, one of the Eagles' better players. Robbie got away from him a couple of times, but that is a very, very strong mark.
Will kick from just outside 50. Distance not there. Lyon smothered. Forced through for Melbourne's 11th behind. Now that's ruled a throw. That is an amazingly technical decision by umpire Robinson. I'm sure it was an honest attempt to knock the ball through, but the ball virtually stuck in the hands of, well, if it was Lockyer, the defender. It'll be very interesting to see it again. In volleyball, certainly it was a foul, and in footy ruled a foul by umpire Robinson. And it produces a goal to big Jim Stynes, who did it very well. And Melbourne finally get their 4th, but in unusual circumstances.
And they look impressive with the 2 big players there, Doug. O'Dwyer on the ball and Big Styne down in the forward pocket. And a few moments ago, even though he was tackled by John Neer from behind, he showed a lot of agility to get around Ross Glendinning, and he looks to be a very, very promising big player. But there we see the ball punched forward by Lockyer. Now, I think that's a throw. I don't think there's any doubt that he's just scooped it up like a tunnel ball.
And here they go again, driven down by Bailey. The Demons into attack. Bailey's kick is wide, and it's taken over the line out of bounds by Lockyer. But it is an amazing achievement by the Melbourne Football Club to have 2 players who they recruited in Ireland in the team tonight in this crucial match. That's Stynes and Sean White, and they really have been his Stynes now, very interesting players. I think Sean White could easily be a champion, and big Jim Stynes has shown plenty of skills for one so high. Doesn't look as if he marks the ball all that well, but really does play with great skills in general play. Here's the ball to be thrown in once again with Melbourne in attack. Keane out towards Malaxos. Malaxos, the umpire's verdict was he was pushed, and takes the free kick, the man who burrows in all the time.
And it's a good move now with Glendinning down on the forward line and Lockyer going into defence.
Anir on the centre line. Barrett. High tackle. It hurt.
He may get reported for this.
Yes, Grinter has been reported. Not for the first time this year. Umpire Howlett making the insertion. And here's the evidence that the tribunal will see next Monday night. I don't suppose it's for us to comment.
Certainly, he stayed down. And that's one of the awkward ones, Kevin, isn't it? When you're coming in on a very late tackle.
And you're coming in very, very fast.
Coming in fast.
And a player is trying to evade you. I mean, there's no doubt it was a high tackle. It may not have been intentionally because the player is moving very, very quickly, but it was certainly a heavy blow to Barrett.
Barrett, Ron Alexander told us on the footy show last night, was really one of the surprise packets. He came from Canberra, and he really has given them a much better season than they ever expected. It's bad luck for Barrett. John Anir is to take the free kick. He kicks it long in the Glendinning direction. Sean White never looked like it. Never looked like spoiling that one against the talented Glendinning. What a wonderful kick it was. And Laurie Keane, who kicks the ball just about as long as anybody in the game. This won't matter this time because when he comes in to shoot for goal, he'll only be about 40 metres from goal. No, he kicks from 50 actually, and he doesn't quite make. He does make the distance, and he kicks it straight. Bit of jockeying there, and really a bit of excellent shepherding by his big ruckman compatriot Alex Zinchenko, and the ball goes through for a goal. But he certainly made the kick hard. He could have come in another 10 metres. Here he is now.
Well, we've spoken about him probably being the longest kick in the competition. Certainly he'd be one of the best kicks for a big man that we've seen play VFL football. He's got a magnificent natural kicking style.
The Eagles have kicked 2 goals to 1 in this quarter, and they're still in this. Healy out of the centre for Melbourne. Flower and Worsfold. Wiley now. Quiet so far. Bad kick, and the Eagles' use of the ball has been poor, although he had nothing to go to, so he placed it.
You could see Robert Wiley, then he looked up and all he could see was Melbourne. He just kicked it at right angles.
His old home ground. This is the old hometown for Robbie Wiley. The Richmond player is second in their best and fairest one year. He's been a great player. Out to Yeats. In the grand final year, Kev, was it?
Yes.
Yes, downfield. The Demons in attack. Picked up by Mainwaring. Luckily, it gets out to Worsfold. Ricky Jackson lost it. Gastev strong play. Chance now for Yeats again. Dodges out of trouble. Kicks it over towards the half-forward flank, but the ball is punched away very well by Worsfold, who's a very good defender. That was away from Greg Healy. It's out of bounds. Demons still in attack.
(34-13), 21-point lead to Melbourne. Gastev running onto it at half-back. Yeats keeping it in well for a while. And now a throw in between wing and closer to Melbourne's half-forward flank. Disappointing crowd, and they've seen a disappointing contest so far between teams battling for the last place in the finals. Malaxos to Anir, towards Lewis, who's been quiet, well subdued by White, who's taken him on and does it again. Oh, brilliant. Long and well to Williams. What a great kick. And Sean White's been one of the stars. In fact, he's been the liveliest player out there.
That was really exciting, Tim, wasn't it? That was brilliant.
It was a very bad kick by John Anir out to Chris Lewis, because Lewis had about a 4-metre break and yet had to stop.
Williams going for goal number 2 from 50 metres. But again, he kicks badly. He's kicked 1-4. And must be cursing himself because he's been largely responsible for that Melbourne scoreline. 4 goals from 15 shots.
He's been short in physique. He seems to have to lead very wide. Mainwaring got into trouble there. Kicks out. Here's Bret Bailey. Chance goes back towards Viney. Big O'Dwyer takes it. Oh, that's danger. Might get away with it. Dodging and turning is Bailey again. Gets round on his left foot and does nothing with it. And the ball is marked there in the last line by Lamb. Lamb's long hand pass is good.
Lockyer, well placed. Malaxos. Nothing to kick to. Glendinning the target. And the skipper's got it now. Gastev. Just forward of the centre. Anir. Pressure. Gets it off just in time. McNish. Back to Anir. Crashing play from Sharon. And now Anir's hurt. Barrich, incidentally, is still out there. Oh, Grinter had about 3 come at him then. And they all wanted him, and they win the free kick for the Eagles. And Captain Glendinning takes it. As John Anir is the one who's come off worst, but no, it looks like he's okay.
And Malaxos has made a big difference to the Eagles in the centre. And, of course, now when they do kick the ball in the air, they've got Glendinning and also Ushenko now to compete in the air.
The captain does it impeccably as always. A very important goal. The Eagles get their 3rd. And even though they've been outclassed so far, they're in touch. They're only 16 points down.
Now, that should have been a free kick, I believe, to John Anir. He really went hard at the ball. He got to the ball first, and you can't do any more than get to the ball first, and he put his body in over the top of it. And I feel the umpires should have really rewarded him for a very courageous piece of play. But they may have played poorly in the first quarter, the Eagles, but they have really lifted their game in this second quarter, and Melbourne may well rue the fact that they wasted all those opportunities in that opening quarter.
Glendinning's made a tremendous difference at centre half forward. Kick off the ground unsuccessful by Malaxos. Ricky Jackson comes through. Very courageous John Anir. Jackson takes it away from him. Kicks it down, looking for Williams. Wonderful spoil by Brennan. Robert Flower caught by a good tackle by Brennan, who bowls him down into the ground. That was, oh, and a nasty tackle. Oh, Brian Wilson's tackle was high as Worsfold went with the ball and got it over the line. It's out of bounds in the half-forward flank. Demons in attack.
That's where the ball crossed the line, so the play had ended, but gee, there should have been a free kick. The umpire can still award one, and now Melbourne are getting one to Stynes. And the Demons rather lucky. Jackson, who is just beyond 40 metres from goal, is a pretty good kick and could well kick Melbourne's 5th, but they're fortunate that the ball's not at the other end of the ground. Didn't quite make it. Wasn't a good kick. Off the ground by Healy. Now, what's the call? It's a goal. Well, that will be interesting to see again.
Well, what actually happened, Tim, was that Big Laurie Keane was virtually over the line, laying on the ground, and the ball got kicked and ricocheted into him. We'll see it kick off the ground, and you see Laurie Keane was down there, but it was just over the line. It was like a great goalkeeper's attempt to keep the ball out of the net.
A Gordon Banks effort, Kev.
Yes, good goal umpiring though, Doug. That's why they're there, aren't they?
Very slick. Keane now on the ball. O'Dwyer, the vigorous one. Keane up above him, takes another one at it, gets it well to Barrich. Barrich out wide. Hughes is well in front of his opponent. Just a matter of whether he gets the ball and gets a good bounce on the boundary line. He takes it over the line out of bounds on half-forward flank with the Eagles in attack.
Not much between the big men in the ruck duels. On the scoreboard, it's Melbourne 41, the Eagles 19. White the flyer. He must love this game, where the ball spends a lot of time in the air and you can really have a run at it and climb for the big one. He seems to relish that side of it. Yushchenko and O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer winning. Jackson to the wing. Big climb from Miles. Anir back to Miles. To half forward. Late on the scene, McNish, but White waits down this time, showing good judgment and places it beautifully for Yeats on the centre line. Well placed kick. Flower had the run at it, judged it beautifully. Hearts beating true for the red and blue at the moment as their captain kicks from 50 metres out. Doesn't quite make the distance. Keane once again back in defence. and this time taking it inside the line.
Hasn't taken a lot of marks, the big fella, but he's been a good ruckman. Dodges beautifully around Stynes. Then sends to the centre of the ground. Stretch and Gastev. And Stretch and his teammates spoil each other. That's O'Dwyer. Gives a chance to Hart to go for a run. He's only had 2 possessions for the match. That's his third. Down it goes in front. It should have been marked and was dropped at the last moment by Yeats. Kicked off the ground accidentally by Ischenko. Picked up by Spalding. Out to Viney. Viney 11 possessions in the first term. Steadies now. Kicks it very long down. This is a high one. Won't help Ricky Jackson. Punched away from him. In comes Robert Flower. Gets the crumbs. In trouble. Tackle. Hand pass as well smothered, but he was legged. He was legged by Worsfold.
Holding the ball. Oh, no, you might be right, Doug.
No, I think he was legged. And the free kick goes to Robert Flower. Tries it short to Williams. Williams punches it down. Here comes Jackson again. Jackson shoots for goal. Right across the face it goes. And that's another behind on the scoreboard for the Demons. They're 5-12 to 3-1. That's 17 scoring shots to 4.
Never got a sniff it in the first quarter, Ricky Jackson, but in the last 5 minutes he's been a very active player.
Confident kick down the middle. Finds Hart. Loops the hand pass for Keane. Long to half forward. At the Eagles. Well, they might get a chance. Glendinning. Now Wiley. As McNish comes off. Oh, well taken by Lyon. Star first-year player for Melbourne last year. Stynes at it late. Lockyer. A near first there and has a man running into space. Uses him. Lamb on the centre line. They're failing at half forward. Ischenko, though, succeeds where others have failed, coming out from full forward. Goes for Lewis, who couldn't hold it. Love it. And now it's all Melbourne. Viney.
Viney on half-back flank on the outer side of the ground. Keeps running and ran well. Out to Healy, who's been relatively quiet. He looks for Flower. Flower's got 2-1 against him and recovers brilliantly. Lyon's there too. Runs into a barrage of trouble. Kicked off the ground by Lyon. Went to Hart, who fumbles. Ricky Jackson can't make it either. Nice pick up by Worsfold. Out wide it goes, and underneath it, the chance is there for Hart, and took it beautifully. Or was it Barrage? It's Barrage in centre wing position, recovered from that nasty blow he took and kicks it beautifully into the centre of the ground, and the strong little man, Stephen Malaxos, takes a fine chest mark. Looks down, kicks along and looking for Alex Ischenko. A nice punch by Hughes. Underneath it at centre half-back, it's well picked up and out to Yeats. Yeats has got lots of time to get it out to Grinter. Grinter down to Wilson. Wilson steadies at centre wing.
And very deliberate as he kicks. But Hart playing close against Greg Healy forces the throw in. 22.5 minutes gone. The Demons with a 50% record for the year, looking to make it 11-10 at the end of the night and still be in the race for the finals. The Eagles in an identical position. Lamb to the centre. Free kick to Lovett. Held when not in possession.
It was a nice return by
high ball.
Handballed at about 50 feet in the air.
And the umpire using the common sense law there. It reached the man on the full. Brennan up. Should have held it once he got there. Bailey, open goal, Healy. His second for the quarter, in fact. Melbourne sixth. And now the Demons starting to get away. It's a 29-point lead.
And Brennan's failure to really hold that mark when he was really the only player who had any chance of marking the ball. He had his hands clearly on this, but he just couldn't hold it. And then, of course, you pay the penalty if the ball drops to the ground. And Healy with his second goal.
Flower pushing it through to Bailey, and Bailey could have easily kicked that one himself.
I think Lee Matthews suggested, Doug, that thought Melbourne was one of the best team sides in the competition with their tap-ons and their blocks and their shepherds, and I think there was just an example with Bailey and Robbie Flower.
Yes, had a super season, Bailey. Wiley's now gets it and boots out towards Lewis, having a quiet time against the vigorous Sean White. Wilson gets it out very wide and does it nicely. Long hand pass comes back and Jackson fumbles once again. Malaxos at it. Out to centre wing it goes and Stephen Stretch. Stretch then downfield. It's going to be Flower and Worsfold again. Flower was going to stay down, changed his mind. Picked up by the strong Bailey. Bailey's got a lot of time, but he's doing a lot of fiddling around. Gets around Miles eventually. Down it goes towards Stynes. Over the back of Stynes it goes. Not chance for Brennan. And Brennan steadies and boots him out of danger well to Barrage.
He's shown plenty of courage in this quarter after copping a nasty one in an incident from which Rod Grinter was reported. Oh, I thought of pushing the back on Glendinning, not paid. And the Demons now Sharon to Yeats, and a great pass to Wilson. 30 metres out directly in front. And whereas in the first quarter they looked like getting on top, but didn't exactly make the most of it on the board because of inaccurate kicking around goal, now they are starting to drive it home. And this one, just into time on in the second quarter, could give them a very imposing lead. And Willow does it, the 82 Brownlow medalist, who might just give it a nudge in 87 as well. Gets his first goal of the night. He's had many, many possessions, and Melbourne 33 points in front, 35 in front.
A beautiful pass from Sharon across to Yeats, and good skills by the Melbourne side. Wilson was a dominating player in the first quarter, but he has lowered his colours to Malaxos in this quarter, but he has had a lot of possessions. And Melbourne are pretty confident that the fact that he has had such a good year that he may give it a nudge in the middle.
He's become a very dedicated player. Was looked on as a selfish player early, but no longer. Rob Flower doing nicely. Clever hand pass. Out wide it goes, and it's a bad kick by Bailey. Well off direction. And it's over the line, out of bounds, just beside the... No, it's through for 1 point. Just squeezed through. And there's that strange-looking scoreboard of 20 scoring shots to 4. Yet it's 55 to 19.
Lewis. It's 20 to 4 really says something, doesn't it? 5 times 5 to every one that the Eagles are having. Spalding the leaper. Viney and Glendinning now name wearing. Lamb. Malaxos at it strongly, but to no avail. Healy to Viney. Long to Williams. Brennan the spoil. Worsfold the crumb. Does it well.
He's not
across to Anir.
Johnny Anir down towards centre wing where Barrage is doing well in front of his opponent, and he's beating one of Melbourne's best players for the season in Yeats. And that was a very strong mark by Adrian Barrage, and a good pass. Chris Lewis, who's always casual and laconic, that's his style of play. Got wonderful skills. Out to Lockyer. Lockyer, a good-looking kick in the Zanotti direction. 2-1 against him, and he didn't really look like it, but he might have taken a free. It was not to be. Well done. He took on the lot of them and beat them, then goes for a typical Zanotti run and drives it straight into the hands of Melbourne, and Jim Stynes takes the pass.
And a pretty sore John Anir on the sidelines. Here's Miles. Loses it. Lyon. Zanotti again. Lewis getting the body over it. Game of mistakes. Hasn't been a great spectacle by any stretch of the imagination. Holmes, who kicked 7 goals last Sunday, hasn't looked like it tonight. Barrage in a hurry. White in the way. At centre half back.
He's kicked the ball beautifully at times, and this is no exception. Out to Stretch it goes from White, who's taken 6 good marks. Then down towards centre half forward. Little Ricky Jackson's got to take them on. It's too much for him, but he's coming out with it. Might have taken a free against Lamb. He will.
He's had a great second quarter.
55 metres out. Too far for him. Flower ran under it. Lewis. That easy style. Hart in the other back pocket. Gastev, the target. Bailey. Now Zanotti, who's had his hair cut. Couldn't break the Viney tackle. Viney's dished out a couple of strong ones. I think it should be his free, really. But the umpire says no, Bailey can take it. Melbourne with no one there this time. Easy for Lewis as Ischenko watched him.
Yes, there was two of them waiting for it. And a nice kick to Malaxos too. Malaxos on the half-back line, gets it across looking for Lamb. Johnny and Lamb it was in a lot of trouble now. Back to help him out was Malaxos. Back to Lockyer. Lockyer across it goes to Lamb. Lamb then's going to kick it straight to Sean White. Mark number 7. Off goes the running Irishman. Fumbles it but go again. Very vigorous player and strong. He's beautifully shepherded. Gets it out to Stretch. Stretch got Wiley to beat and gets round him. And the siren goes for half-time with Melbourne very convincing leaders. 7 goals, 13, 55. And the West Coast Eagles 3-1, 19.
And Melbourne kicked 4-3 to 3 straight in the second term to extend the lead from 27 points at quarter time to 36 at the long interval. Healy has 2 of their 7 goals. Singles to Lyon, Wilson, Williams, Stretch and Stynes. And for the Eagles, they're 3 coming in that quarter to Glendinning, Keane and Ischenko. And at half-time, Melbourne 7-13-55. West Coast Eagles 3-1-19. 36-point lead to Melbourne as the second half is about to get underway at the MCG. We've commented on the fact that the crowd doesn't look terribly large. In fact, we're told that the members' stand in which we're perched is just about full and that the crowd is up near the 20,000 mark. Melbourne leading by 4 goals, 12. After dominating the first half of the match, straight into attack at the start of the second. Flower, beautifully Yeats, inside 50, long, and it's home. And Melbourne couldn't have wanted a better start. A goal in 25 seconds. Ecstasy for the Demon supporters. A 42-point lead. And the grand old flag will take some stopping from here.
And at half-time, Tim, the players got a terrific reception from the Melbourne supporters who were chanting Melbourne, Melbourne, Melbourne. There's Robbie Flower. It was very good play by Robbie. He just dived on top of that and got it out to Yeats. And that long kick, and Melbourne have kicked very long tonight. They haven't fiddled around too much. They've really sunk their boot into the ball and it's paid dividends.
Well, I'll lead the deputation over summer to get Flower to keep on playing football. I think he really is magnificent. Ricky Jackson runs for this one. Gets a very awkward bounce and it bounces away from him over the line, out of bounds. But Robert Flower does seem adamant that he won't play next year. He's playing his 270th game tonight. But he's still the most skillful player in the Melbourne side by far. And every time he touches the ball, it's dynamite. A couple of his marks have been absolutely thrilling, memorable moments. And that was really delightful, the way he fell on top of that ball and hand passed out to Yeats.
90 seconds into the third quarter. And the Demons have done all the attacking and already kicked a goal. Stretch to half forward. Lyon. Bailey. First there, Mainwaring. Bad, straight to Jackson, and another chance for Melbourne. Wilson. Good kick, great kick. Melbourne 8 goals in front. They've got the jaws around this one. And it looks as though at the end of the night it'll be the Demons still in the fight for the 5. And the Eagles' year virtually finished.
Well, Brian Wilson, 16 possessions in the first half. Had Malaxos put on him into the second quarter. Malaxos did reasonably well, but he's just opened again in brilliant fashion, and he's booted 2 goals, 1 in the second quarter and 1 in this quarter.
Nice bit of shepherding by Stynes there in the goal square to his big lorry Keane, poised to come in and do battle with the very ferocious O'Dwyer. Keane did it well to Hart. Hart's kick is high in the air. Stephen stretches underneath it, but a wonderful leap by Glendinning. Missed that mark just at the crucial time. Fine play, Spalding. Awkward one for Healy. Malaxos goes after it. So does Garry Lyon. He's met. Out it comes, and look out, Spalding, you caught. Hand pass comes out wide. Malaxos diving at it. So was Viney. Lewis then tackles them. Picked up there by Brennan, out to Gasteff. Gasteff, a good-looking pass to centre half forward. Glendinning spoiled, but recovers possession. Out to Holmes. Holmes across it goes McNish. McNish across towards the pocket. Robbie Wiley fumbles at the crucial time, and Bailey gobbles him up, and it's touched on the line when it could well have gone through by Ischenko, and the West Coast Eagles have made just about every mistake in the football code.
Yes, and Robbie Wiley then just took his eyes off the ball. He's just looking what he was going to do with the ball once he took that hand pass, and he paid the penalty.
Main wearing 60 metres out. Good mark, Spalding. 15 metres against Glendinning. Wilson the target, but in front Barrage. Just about the Eagles' best player. Kicks long, too long for Ischenko. Bounces off McNish. Grinter reported in the first half. Lovett, well tackled by Gastev initially, but then the second tackle was illegal because Lovett wasn't in possession of the ball. Free to Lovett, 15 metres, 2 times over, and Gastev comes back almost to the centre line.
Well, that wasn't good. He's a fiery little customer, is John Gastev. But that doesn't help your side. Across the ground it goes nicely to Stretch. Stretch then drives it like a bullet to Yeats, who misses an easy one. There's been some terrible mistakes tonight. Yeats gets past Lewis, then puts it down to the half-forward line looking for Bailey, and Bailey waits for it and takes a simple chest mark. He's about 80 metres from goal, kicks to Williams and kicks it well. Bailey probably the biggest improver in the Melbourne side for the season. And David Williams, just a 6-footer, very capable full forward. Now kicks from a difficult angle once again, flowers up and almost took a good one. And in his efforts, the ball slithers through for a behind. But there's no doubt about him. He can really mark, and Robert Flower.
He leads well, Williams, but he always leads out to the pocket.
Wide, Kev.
Always wide, and he's had about 4 shots for goal, all from that tight forward pocket.
Malaxos finds Lamb, who did well to out-jostle Jackson, although Lamb is bigger and stronger. Grinter the spoil, Glendinning the rover, and Gastev now. Well done, Gastev. Well tackled, though, by Viney, and for the 3rd time tonight, Viney wins a free kick with an iron tackle. And Doug, I think you mentioned earlier that he's one of the best tacklers in the side. He's dished out some beauties, and he disposes of the ball nicely this time. Lovett off to Stretch, long and direct. Bad miss by Lockyer. Williams. Bailey in chase. Throw in forward pocket for the Demons.
Well, it's looking pretty convincing for the Demons at the moment, if you can ever say it, at this time of the match when there's only 9 minutes in the second half. 9-14 to 3-2. Keane. Lyon shoots it across. It's marked right in the square. Zanotti goes bundling off downfield and kicks well to Lewis. Lewis has got nobody much to kick to. And look at that. Sean White in front, streams away. Didn't do it all that well. Lovett was pushed. McNish, who took 14 marks last week, can't take a trick today. McNish gets it out to Viney. Viney steadies and kicks it long. In front is Healy. Punched away from him. Slipping to the ground was Hart. Miles lost the run of it too. Lamb very slick out to Hart. Hart goes bouncing downfield. Sends it long, and McNish has got the chance this time. Takes the mark. He's on the 50-metre mark. Hooks it across to Wiley beautifully. Wiley misses an awkward one-hander. Hooks it back for goal. And Robert Wiley has missed. And it's not been a good night for this very popular player.
Well, he's had 2 golden opportunities to kick goals in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and he's just wasted both of them.
Hughes long to half-back. McNish, and the Eagles try again. That's better. Holmes, who's been well held by a very aggressive Rod Grinter. Had a bit of a punch-up before the first bounce. Shouldn't call it that. I'm not sure that there was a punch thrown, but Holmes' helmet.
Probably a dust-up because he's a garbologist by trade.
That was good description. Grinter later reported for striking Barrage. Holmes kicks well. He really is a true boot. 7 last Sunday at Carrara. Gets his first for the night. The Eagles' 4th only. And still the margin is 41 points.
Well, he's kicked 8 straight in actual fact, Tim, because he didn't kick any behinds up at Carrara, and that's his first goal for tonight. But Grinter has done a marvellous job minding him because he is a very elusive player. And McNish, who has just come into the game a little bit in this quarter after being very, very quiet. But the Eagles are playing from behind, and they're giving away some silly free kicks.
O'Dwyer out towards Jackson, gets an awkward bounce. Wiley picks it up, runs into O'Dwyer. Then there's Bailey to left-footed down for the Demons. Williams stays down. They all stay down. Coming through was Worsfold or Lockyer. Gets it out to Malaxos. Malaxos down towards, all pushed out. Glendinning pushed Spalding out. He got away with it. Gastev comes in and runs hard at it. Hotly tackled, but still got the run of it. Lovett comes in. Nice hand pass to Mainwaring. A very good tackle by White. A good one by Spalding. They're going down like 9 pins. The tackle was too high against Spalding. Umpire Robinson indicates it was up around the cheekbone, and Chris Mainwaring will take the free kick. Here's the tackle. Well, you be the judge.
To half forward, Bailey. Doesn't kick all that well, but it's all Melbourne under it. Wilson. Yeats between half-back and wing. Lyon spoiled by the leaping Miles. Lamb likes the left boot better. Good smother, Lyon. Away goes Jackson. Spearing pass. Still a chance for Melbourne. Stynes. Well played. It's all the D's on that side of the ground. Wilson, who's been a star. Low skimmer. Lyon couldn't hang on. Miles out on the full. And the Demons get another chance.
And Wilson down, Tim.
Oh, that's bad. 2 weeks from the finals, and that's how Melbourne are going. We're talking about them being 2 weeks from the finals.
Well, really down that time, and he ran into trouble. He really asked for this one, but it was typical of Wilson's over-courageousness. Here comes Jeffrey Miles running out. Oh, they're not going to see it all. But Wilson's going to take a free kick for that particular incident. And what a good match he's had. There's 21 possessions. And there's Willow, who has become a fine team man, a dedicated team man, from one who earlier in his life was looked on as a selfish player, was in his 3rd club by the time he was 21 years old. Short pass, well done. There's one thing he can do, is that full forward. He can lead. This is Healy this time. And hasn't really played as well as he should have, Greg Healy, who is one that the Demons look forward to as being somewhat in the superstar, into the same category as his brother, who's such a magnificent player for the Sydney Swans, and was also for Melbourne, of course. 35 to 40 metres from goal. That's number 3 for Healy. So that part's a good night's work for him, when the rest of the team simply cannot kick goals. It's 10-14, and making that scoreboard look better. They went from 3-1 to 3-10, but now it's 10-14, and they're in a very handy position.
That's something he can do very well, Doug, and that's kick straight. Greg Healy, he is a very, very accurate kick. And you can see in this quarter that the tackling of Melbourne compared to the Eagles is so much better. Too many players are just brushing past Eagles players, and they're just not really a very aggressive, vigorous tackling side, whereas you look at the Melbourne side, they really are throwing some very, very good tackles and some very, very good blocks.
John Northey hasn't seen fit to make a change, hasn't needed to. And still Stephen Newport and Doug Coop warming the bench. It's when they're sitting down, warming themselves by having a bit of a gallop at the moment. Melbourne 74, the Eagles 27, and a disappointing no contest so far. Miles. Wiley running into trouble. It's a free kick to the Eagles. They want to run on, but the umpire, David Howlett, says no, it's got to come back. And Jeff Miles playing his 50th game of VFL football. Started, of course, with Collingwood. No one on the end of his kick in a blue and gold jumper. Yeats. 3 Melbourne players in open territory. A rare fumble from Wilson. Good tackle from Barrage. Now Sharon out of defence. Uses it well. Viney, who's been great. Bad bounce for Worsfold. Flower from 45, from 40. Now they're in ecstasy. As the champion captain drives through his first, joins the goal scoring, and Melbourne just racing away, doing it at will, leading by 53 points.
Well, Worsfold did the right thing. He led to the ball, but he really didn't block the ball as well as he should have. He should have had his arms low to the ground to try and block that bounce and try and smother it, but instead he had his arms very high, and it just went underneath his arms, and that allowed Robbie to go in. And I agree with you, Doug. Melbourne should try and talk Robbie into playing next year.
Big deputation, Kev. No matter how he feels over summer, let him do what he likes. Oh, it's courageous stuff. Well, Gwynter's been reported tonight, but you could never doubt his own fierce courage. Tackled very high and will take the free kick. Kicks it out towards the flank. Good mark. Very good struggling mark by Healy. Playing his best quarter. Bailey's alone and unattended, but it's across to Hughes. Danny's in trouble. Balks very cleverly gets away from Wiley. Then Wiley tackles him well. Wilson loses the run of it. Healy and Lewis are fighting for it. Down it comes and goes through everybody's legs, and Rob Wiley's got another chance. Could have taken a free, I thought. Thought he was pushed by Jackson. Picked up by Malaxis out to McNish. Very ordinary football at this stage. Lewis then thumps it out wide past Holmes. Holmes has got the chance to go out wide onto his left foot. Hasn't really got anybody to kick to. It bounces awkwardly there for Sharon. Gives Hart the opportunity. Fumbles it, then does it pretty well, right on the boundary line, left foots it straight to Sean White, who takes mark number 8, but I think in the meantime he'd run over the boundary line, so it's to be thrown in.
They're playing from behind the Eagles on their forward line.
Now, Demon supporters, you might have had your hearts in your mouths a moment ago as Brian Wilson was down, but he's okay once more. For the second time in the quarter, the trainers have attended him for a blow to the head, but there he is, back into the fray. He might be penalised here. He's not. Lewis inside to Miles. Malaxos, half volley. Wiley, who's had a bad quarter, wasted a couple of opportunities near goal. Lamb plays on. Big risk. Bad kick. Straight to Spalding. Off to Grinter.
They've done everything wrong, the Eagles. They simply can't take a trick with their short passing. Out to Stretch, running with the ball. Difficult one, and can't keep it in play. Brennan was pursuing him, but it was a fair way from him, and it's out of bounds. But really, the West Coast Eagles, Ron Alexander. Sitting beside him, a well-known Melbourne personality, Barry Richardson, ex-coach of Richmond. He's been their spotter for the season, has Barry gone 1 week in front and watched the Eagles' opponent. Tonight, sitting watching the players in question, and he won't be too pleased about them either. It's been one of their worst performances up to date. Danny Hughes now across to Stretch. Stretch, look out. Beautiful balk away from Mainwaring. Left foot's it right down towards that full forward zone. Very poor effort by everybody. Eventually Zanotti picks it up, then hooks it back underneath at Viney. Mainwaring goes above him and almost took a soarer. Recovered very well. Ran into trouble, left foots it cleverly to Wiley. Wiley across it goes. This is good football now. Lockie's with it, and Lockie's a bit slow to try that evasive business. An awkward bounce keeps him in play. Ischenko, who's been quiet, hits to Malaxos. Malaxos fumbles very badly, fumbles again, cannot pick it up, and it really is very ordinary. Danny Hughes with it, and eventually boots him into attack.
Beyond half forward, Williams, good control, 50 metres out. Big swinger is a beauty for Wilson. Spilled it. Still the chance. Flower gets his second in a couple of minutes. The Demons 12th. And they lead by 59 points. 17 minutes into the third quarter.
And that goal was really set up back in the centre of the ground, where the Melbourne players really did tackle very, very aggressively. We see Wilson there not able to take the mark, but Bailey there just sort of maybe even might have thrown the ball out a bit then, and Robbie was able to just kick it off the ground.
Robbie goes to Melbourne's leading goal kicker for the season, just one in front of Williams. 35-34. Didn't look like it, Stynes, as he went for that one. Oh dear. I thought it was against Big Keane. It wasn't. The infringer must have been O'Dwyer, and Laurie Keane will take the free kick, and this will test his redoubtable kicking skills, because when he puts foot to ball, he'll be about 65 to 70 metres from goal. He centres it, and it's right towards the teeth of goal. Big Jim Stynes flies for it. It's punched out wide. Winter goes for it and kicks it out of bounds. Out of bounds on the full. Good defensive football. It's out of bounds.
18 minutes into the term. And Melbourne have added 5 goals, 1 for the quarter. The Eagles a paltry 1-2. Keane wins, but straight to Lovett. Pulled off the kick. Oh, Stretch let it go, and oh, he gets a free kick for a high tackle. I thought he might be the one on the receiving end, because he let it go and was then tackled, but the umpire says he copped it high. Good knock on Stynes. Healy beautifully inside. Malaxos, Miles, Flower the tackler, strong from behind, and didn't ride him down, pulled him to the side. Barrage, well done. Good long kick, lovely kick. Glendinning and Wiley. Chance number 3 for Robbie Wiley. Impossible angle. Touch through. I don't think it was going through, and that's why Gastev put a hand on the ball, and the Eagles struggling to score behinds at the moment.
Robbie's had 3 chances, really. Look, unfortunately there he slipped. Then he actually steadied instead of kicking it hurriedly on the boundary line, but then the slip, that really did throw him out.
And Grinter swings Melbourne into attack once again. This time his kick is ill-directed, and out on half-back flank, Lockie's got the chance. Kicks it downfield looking for Mainwaring. Good leap. He's got 3-1 against him. Grinter picks up. Excellent short pass. Very bad miss by Healy. Then recovers possession. Back to Grinter, who does it skillfully. Then he kicks towards Lockyer, and Lockyer marks on the line. Whoops. Lockyer into the ground, into the fence. And unsympathetic Melbourne supporters clap him, which isn't exactly old pucker stuff. There's Zanotti downfield. Grinter slips at the crucial moment. Gastev with it. Tackle of Lovitz was not a good one. Gastev takes everything, took it well, tackled again by Grinter. Nice fierce football, and umpire's going to bounce it. Umpire Howard. No, yes he is.
20 minutes gone. Third quarter, 86 plays 28. The Demons on their way to their 11th win of the season. Keane nicely, straight to Viney, who kicks out on the full. And the Eagles take a free to Brennan, who's been in their best 2 or 3. In fact, it's not his free, it's Mainwaring. On the wing, Members side. To half forward, Glendinning comes from behind. And he's faded as the season's worn on. Lovett takes it over. It's on the Eagles' half forward flank.
And it's interesting that when O'Dwyer picks up Laurie Keane on the forward line and Stein goes into the ruck, Danny Hughes just runs around as a loose man in the Demons' defence. He doesn't bother going down to the forward line and picking up Lockyer.
To Gastev, off the ground. And O'Dwyer's done a really good job because Keane has not been any influence, and that's a good job by O'Dwyer. Across it goes, and a nice leap and an excellent mark taken by Barrage. Timothy mentioned earlier was probably the best player, and he's looking more and more like their best player. Hasn't got much to beat, I'm afraid, tonight. Tries it short to Chris Lewis. None of the Lewis magic tonight. This exciting young man who's only 18 years old has provided us with some of the really exciting incidents. Hello, it's on down the goal square.
Eagles free kick.
Dwyer is the man who's been penalised. And that wouldn't surprise many of us because he is very, very hot-tempered and fiery and vigorous. And the free kick goes to Laurie Keane, who has no trouble footing it through with that trusty left foot. Well, despite the scoreboard looking in Melbourne's favour, that's not what the coaches like.
No, that's really a gimme, that one. When you give away a free kick by holding or jostling in the square. We've seen the Eagles come back in several games, Tim, haven't we? I mean, at the moment you wouldn't give them any chance whatsoever, but they've made a couple of remarkable comebacks.
Better your money on them than mine tonight, KB.
Oh, no, I lost all mine with Doug at the casino.
That's easy to do, Kev, isn't it? You lost all mine for me.
They keep spinning those wheels very quickly, don't they?
Yes, they were famed for their comebacks pre-season. In the National Panasonic Cup, of course, they upset Footscray and Fitzroy. Newport, just off the bench, gets a kick, but straight to Lockyer. Todd Viney, the player leaving the field for Melbourne. And there's a Demon down in the centre of the ground. It's not Wilson again, surely. There'll be a ball up, which will give us a chance to get our bearings. And Brian Wilson, for the 3rd time in the quarter, is becoming a punching bag.
I think he's feeling it too, and he really has taken some heavy blows. Although really sometimes he's got no thought of his own danger, and sometimes you've got to look and protect yourself. It's no good taking them when you don't have to. Lyons there. Newport again. Out wide to the flank looking for Yeats. Worsfold comes in, goes to ground. Flower brilliant. Kick isn't really that good. He was tackled high and tackled badly.
Push in the back, I think, to Worsfold.
Oh, for Worsfold before it. Yep. Well, Worsfold takes the free kick on half-back flank.
Late whistle. He wanted to give the hand pass, but couldn't quite get the man into the clear, or the man couldn't get into the clear. Miles, Lamb, the nudge on, Glendinning, and Gastev. Always plenty of energy about him. Good delivery to Holmes. 50 metres out as Doug Coop gets his first chance for the night. And Don Holmes, who's kicked one this quarter and has 8 straight from his last 8 shots. He's done it again, KB. He doesn't miss.
And Yeats is off for Melbourne. So that's 9 straight for Holmes, if we take into account his last performance. And 2 goals in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes may even give the Eagles some sort of hope.
This has been very accurate throughout the years. We've seen Kev, his statistics now at 29 goals 12, which is a very good proportion of majors to minors.
And Grinder's done a very good job on Holmes, even though he has slipped away for 2 goals in this quarter, but he's had very few possessions.
Juszczenko beaten for it. Miles taps it down. Wilson once again caught, held it too long, lucky to get away with it, overrunning it badly. Stretch is the eventual one who lost it. Coming out wide was Healy. Good looking hand pass goes back, and Sean White kicks it very wide. He really kicks the ball very well. Newport, 3rd kick in the last few moments when he's first come on the ground. Ricky Jackson in trouble. Brennan gets him down, which wasn't difficult. David and Goliath. Jackson with the ball out to Hughes. Hughes then kicks it long in the Williams-Zanotti direction. Zanotti didn't look like it, but in the meantime the whistle is blown, and there's a free kick going to the West Coast Eagles, and it's to be taken by Worsfold.
He was pushed out. Zanotti, Lewis, just behind the centre line. I'm not sure who he was after with that kick, but there was no one there for it. White, Grinter now. Goes very wide. Flower, barreled by Worsfold. That'll be 15 metres. And the youngster, second youngest in this team, behind Lewis, just 18 years of age, giving the veteran Flower a bit of hurry up there and paying the penalty. Newport up in front. Barrich, Lockyer, they're going backwards, but doing it effectively to McNish.
McNish then kicks it very badly. Rob Wiley can't take it. Malaxos will. His hand passing is excellent always. Out it goes to Mainwaring. Mainwaring then tries to find Gastev and does it very well. Gastev been a lively player in the last few moments, and he's close enough to score. Gastevic, I'm told, was his name, the name of his parents, Yugoslav, and a delightful young fella.
Very quiet off the field.
Very quiet off the field, but
very fiery off.
Fella, and on the field he really does get excited, but plays well when the adrenaline's pumping, and obviously he intends to try and score a major. Thinks he can make the distance, which he should be able to. He'll be about 45 metres from goal when he kicks. Won't quite make the distance. Big pack fly for it, and it's thumped through for one behind.
Good play by Sean White, but it's so close in that danger area. The best way is to thump it through for a minor score.
The difference 45 points. Lovett, Wilson, everywhere. Back to Lovett. Coop for his first possession. Relayed free kick. Coop going down after the hand pass. Now advantage. Good pass. Healy straight to Williams. The fast leading full forward. I think you're right, Kev. He's not a decoy. Every time he leads, he finishes up marking it.
Yeah, they kick it to him. This time he's led, you know, not so wide, but he does fall for that trap of leading too wide sometimes.
He's kicked 1-4 prior to this, and that's 1-5.
Well, I think they better make him a decoy.
Actually, I've noticed throughout the year he's quite capable of kicking a large number of behinds.
He's had a few wonderful matches when he's kicked 7 or so. Zanotti now with the ball on half-back flank. Looks for a very long hand pass, which is danger. McNish evades Williams, actually. Then he evades Bailey. Then he runs into further trouble to Brennan. Back to McNish. Caught. Not a good tackle, Healy. Mainwaring's got the chance. Wilson takes him on with spectacular courage and skill. Healy sends a dazzler tried to find Flower. Flower slipped at the crucial moment, and the mark or the free kick, I'm not sure of which it was, to the big Russian, but he takes it, and it's big Alec Ischenko, and he gets it out wide, taken by Worsfold.
Who's got a man in space in Lamb, who makes few mistakes. He's a pro. White, a screamer over Lewis.
He's killed Chris Lewis tonight. 8 marks.
Fine stats, 16 possessions. Kicks long, there's a whistle. And a 15-metre penalty, the ball coming back to White, who is now up on the wing. The mark of the night over Lewis. Lovely long left-hand pass to his fellow Irishman Stynes. Healy, Coop. As Healy's down with a sore arm or shoulder. Spalding up off half-back. Stynes, Melbourne starting to make it look pretty hard and laborious. But anything they can do, the Eagles can do worse. Throw in on Melbourne's half-forward flank.
I think one of the surprising things about Sean White is the wonderful kicking skills he's got, which you think you only learn when you've played football from the day you could first walk. But he, coming from Ireland, didn't have that opportunity, but he really is a splendid kick. Here comes Spalding, ran into trouble, didn't get out of it well. Picked up by Glendinning. Roscoe kicks it wide, but kicks it too wide. Very slow chasing at that time was the Demon defence. And over the line from Sharon, was he pushed? Tripped accidentally by Hart. And he didn't look good. He's played very well with wonderful courage as Sharon, but that time looked pretty slow. And as we talk, the siren goes. Melbourne 12-15-87 are leading the West Coast Eagles 6-5-41.
5-2 to 3-4 in that quarter in Melbourne's favour. Healy has 3 goals, 2 each to Wilson and Flower. And for the Eagles, 2 each to Keane and Holmes. A 46-point lead to John Northey's Demons at the last change. Final quarter coming up, and Melbourne set to move to within 1 win of their first finals appearance in 24 years. Assuming they go on and win this tonight, if they can beat Footscray at the Western Oval next week, they would appear to be almost certain finalists in 1987. But as Kevin Bartlett said in the third quarter, the Eagles were regarded at one stage as comeback specialists, and their effort a couple of Fridays ago against North Melbourne, when they stood them up 58 points at three-quarter time and almost snatched it, was outstanding. Start of the last quarter, and the Demons will be out to ensure that doesn't happen here. But Keane puts West Coast into attack, and skipper Glendinning, who's had a quiet one, is 70 metres out, kicks quickly. Wiley, well taken in front of Sharon. And after having 3 opportunities go begging in the third quarter, Wiley with the chance to start the last quarter with a goal. Not a night he'd remember fondly so far. And still won't as he kicks across the face, and Hughes helps it through for a behind, and the margin is 45 points.
One of the amazing stats that have come out of the game is Malaxos is once again the top possession getter. 26 possessions he's had up to date. Stephen Stretch has got the run, punched away by O'Dwyer. Malaxos underneath it. Hand pass comes out wide. This looks good. Yeats doesn't really get much distance into this. Look who he finds, though. He's been absolutely magnificent in the air, his number 2. Mr. Flower, then he kicks it well down towards the centre half forward zone, and I thought that could have been awarded, that one, to Newport. It wasn't. The ball is trundled out. Healy, very slick that time to Jackson. Jackson out wide. Stynes grubs it for goal and was touched on the line.
Right on the line, I'd say.
Right on the line is correct, yep.
Maradona would have been happy with that one.
That was an Irishman's kick.
An interesting approach. Lockyer gets a good lead and passes well to Lamb, who kicks to the centre line. Holmes beats Grinter. 2 bites at the cherry, mark paid. And once again, Grinter making contact with part of Holmes' anatomy, which was above the shoulder. Lewis to half forward, but O'Dwyer, fiery redhead in the way, has 2 Demons in space. One is Stretch at half back. Now Hughes, just behind the centre line, unloads a massive torpedo. Miles front position. Held from behind by Lyon, and Miles takes the free.
Not a great season for the young man who made such a huge impression last year, Garry Lyon. Malaxos kicks a long one down towards Glendinning. Well played. Too strong, too clever for Spalding. Then decides to kick it long in the Holmes direction. Grinter's got the leap on him and punches it away, and punches a good 25 to 30 metres. Holmes at Gastev leads in the run for the ball. Out to Holmes it goes. He left foots it into the square. Lewis made a tremendous leap, but Sean White, who's fast becoming one of the heroes of this Melbourne side, there's a roar as he gets the ball. Grinter gets it to Flowers, a poor pass. Very bad pass, and Main Waring's down on Flower and takes the mark. Gets it across to Malaxos.
On the centre line, yet another possession. Long to half forward. Lewis waits down this time. Lets Glendinning and Ischenko go. Spalding the paddle to Healy. Now Wilson. Fickle bounce. Love it. And the Demons out of trouble. Wilson at half-back. Flower running into trouble. Had to get rid of it in a hurry. Lyon. Well played Barrage to McNish. And the Eagles lifting a bit at the start of this last quarter. Holmes towards full forward. Ischenko. One grab was pulled down. High tackle on Spalding. Still no free. The umpire letting it go. White well brought down. Now Lovett. Hurriedly, McNish to full forward. Big chance here. Glendinning. Easy on the chest.
He could have shepherded that one through.
Yes, yes. I guess when it's a chest mark, it's worth taking, Kev. It's hard to tell.
You would have shepherded it through, wouldn't you, Coach?
Not quite certain about that.
Let's not exaggerate.
Or else marked it and then look for the hand pass.
It was a dangerous one, though, because Hughes was coming in and could have, you know, maybe got a hand to it or knocked Glendinning's arm.
Robert Flower off the ground, incidentally. He went down with the cramp. Nothing serious for those at home who would share every little bit of pain that he does have.
Great stop there by McNish. Let's have a look at this. Oh, he had it pretty well covered, but his nearly sort of got into the trajectory of the ball then.
Roscoe's doubts may have been, I wonder will it quite make it. He wasn't exactly sure what position he's in when he's running with the flight of the ball. And a wonderful player Glendinning's been. He's given some joy to North Melbourne fans and the West Coast Eagles this year. He'd be leading in their best and fairest, I think. Out wide it goes. Brennan tries to come through like a train, which he does. Yeats tries to do ditto and runs into trouble, but gets out of it well. His kick is not good, and a nice tumbling mark taken at centre half back by Jeff Miles, who's done very well on Garry Lyon. He kicks out in the direction of Gastev. There's Lyon going across to cover him, but just too late, of course. Gastev having a little chat to the umpire and saying, give me the 15-metre penalty. Downfield it goes. Spalding. Dwyer's the man who does the spoiling. White out wide towards centre wing position. Lovett's in position.
Grinter. Stynes. Didn't have a really tall man to beat in Main Waring, but doesn't take too many. Took that well. Beats everybody. Williams now. Well collected. Healy, who's kicked 3 goals. From 45 metres, drives it home. And that's the one Melbourne wanted, just to steady the ship. The Eagles had kicked the last one. But Melbourne in control. 46-point leaders beyond the 6-minute mark of the last turn.
A good play by Williams, playing out in front of Zanotti. And Melbourne always with the runners, the overlapping players. And Greg Healy, as we mentioned before, is an excellent kick for goal. And he just drilled that one.
It's a long kick, Kev. It was a good one, wasn't it?
But the Eagles have played behind all night, Doug, in defence and on their forward line.
There's a free kick. Whistle goes. Robert Wiley with the ball, but it'll go to Laurie Keane. Keane kicks it long downfield. Ischenko in front. Hughes a very good spoil. Ischenko to the ground. Grinter out there with the Hughes. Left foot's it high in the air in haste when he could have taken his time. Brennan marks the ball, but it was over the line when he marked it. Nevertheless, he'll take the free kick, and he's about 70 metres out.
One who can hold his head up tonight, but not after that kick. Straight into the lap of Spalding in the back pocket. He finds Wilson. It didn't really look an authoritative kick. Wilson a fine player tonight. Yeats from the wing. Stynes at half forward. Spoiler Lockyer. It's on Melbourne's half forward flank. Almost 8 minutes gone, final term. The Demons have kicked 2 goals to 1 for the quarter to consolidate. And 7th position at the moment. Might well be 5th in 9 days' time when it really counts.
Yes, they've certainly kept the season alive. Lyon kicks, doesn't kick it all that well. He didn't know who was there because he had to kick under pressure. He went to Lockyer. Lockyer then kicks very badly, straight to Stephen's stretch, who takes it at the maximum stretch that Stephen could give it. Beautiful judgment. Been one of the finds, been a great player for the last couple of seasons. Over the back it goes, and the mark is easily taken by Lockyer again. Let's see if he can kick any better this time. Not really much better. Jackson there, so's McNish. Here comes Lewis. Lewis dodges the big fella O'Dwyer, then kicks it very well to Malaxos. Malaxos tackled by Lovett. Stephen Malaxos then kicks it long downfield, looking for Ischenko. Hughes done very well against him. Tough, redoubtable customer is Danny Hughes. He came way out in the way in the back blocks in South Australia, about 600 kilometres from Perth, from Adelaide.
Easy night for the umpires. They only bounced the ball 3 times in the first half, not once in the second quarter. Free kick to Jackson. Advantage now, and away go the Demons. Wilson to Bailey. Long with the left boot. Williams behind 2, and yet still might win it. Healy, Viney now. Fairly easy shot, but he sprayed it badly. And kicks Melbourne 17th behind. They kicked 10 of them in the first quarter. After at one stage having 3-1, they went to quarter time at 3-10.
Greg Healy been very, very clever in this second half. Everything he's done has been full of class and authority. He's kicked 4 goals. He gave a wonderful chance to Viney that time with a very slick hand pass. Manweri looks for Keane. Keane goes the punch, but O'Dwyer goes the punch too. Out to Lewis it comes, on to Zanotti. He'll give it to McNish. He should have hand passed. He made it difficult, but McNish has got it. Took too long. Took far too long. Kicked off the ground and kicked off the ground well. Down it goes, and here comes Robbie Wiley again from a hand pass from Keane. His kick is a shocker. Straight to Yeats. They really have played very poorly with the Eagles, and here comes Sharon.
Viney. Just forward of the centre, no one on the mark. Healy, did he hold on? Not quite. Brennan. Hart, quiet tonight. Speedster. Wiley outreached. Grinter. Miles goes the spoil. Doesn't make it. Lyon. 35 metres out directly in front. Three bites and a chance for goal number 2. Just about the star recruit of last year. Bit of pressure on him this year, and perhaps it's told, but still a handy man for Melbourne to have in its attack. Misses. It was close. Right over the top, perhaps, in the judgment of the goal umpire. Melbourne with 31 scoring shots to 13 at the 11-minute mark of the last term, 48 points in front.
Good kick. McNish held it long enough, I think. McNish was absolutely spectacular last week with a brilliant exhibition of marking against the Brisbane Bears. Not tonight. Out to Gastev. Gets around Lovett comfortably. Sends a good-looking pass to Malaxos, who's fast getting up to the 30 possession mark. He then kicks across the ground to Jeffrey Miles, the ex-Magpie. He kicks long downfield. Nobody at home except Mr. Daniel Hughes. Ischenko comes in late on the scene. Danny steadies and kicks atrociously. Straight into the crowd. A lot of Melbourne supporters down there below him, but that won't please them. It's out of bounds and a free kick will go to the West Coast Eagles. And it's only about 45 metres from goal. And Hart, he's trotting across to retrieve the ball from the crowd to have a shot for goal. Been a quiet night for the speedster David Hart. 10 possessions is not good for a rover when you're into the final term. Difficult angle. Oh, what a good kick. What a super kick. And he puts it through. But not a great deal of excitement, Kev.
No, look at Ron Alexander, and he can't get very enthused about it. Actually, that was a great kick by David Hart, but that's been one of the big problems of the Eagles right throughout this game. Their kicking has been atrocious. They've very rarely found a teammate. They've kicked it wide for most of the night, and they've kicked to the opposition.
So that margin of 42 points at the 13-minute mark of the last quarter. It would take a miracle. Total reversal of the trend for the Eagles to get up. Williams the big leaper, but Lockyer solid in front. Eventually goes very wide.
That's typical.
And out on the full. That was a shocking kick.
I think that just backs up what we've been speaking about. Just complete, poor disposal by the Eagles, and yet they've been renowned for their skills.
Didn't quite carry the line on the full. So a throw in. Stynes, well done, taking it out of the air and kicking to full forward. Viney, who's had a miss in this quarter. This one misses by a kilometre. That's out on the full, and a free kick to Hart.
Hart's doing well with those out of bounds on the full. Just a few moments ago from a similar free kick, but in a different position, kicked a super goal. Out wide, the big fellow's foul. Lyon was the leaper above and stretches the man who roves intelligently and kicks well to Bailey. Bailey a long way out. No, it'll give it short to the half-forward flank. Yeats will take it. Too far out for him, I think. This is one of the young men who's had a really good season, is Graeme Yeats for the Demons. Tries it down looking for Stynes. What a good kick. Oh, what? Whoops. How casual can you get? And he tries the short passing racket, which he isn't too good at, but they're still going to get the pick and kick the goal, Bret Bailey. Well, many a coach might have pulled him off for being too casual. Big Jimmy Stynes from Dublin. He says he'll go back to Ireland when he's finished his footy career in Melbourne, but he finished doing it well.
Well, he's only a young player, and of course still learning the game of Australian rules football. But that's great skill for a big guy, and he's shown tonight that he's got a pretty big future in front of him, Doug. He moves very well. He's very agile, and with O'Dwyer and Stynes, Johnny Northey really has two big players to work with.
48 points is Melbourne's lead. Bailey to full forward. Williams in front. Good spoils, Notty. Flying shot is home from Newport. A beauty. And the Demons lead by 9 goals at the 15.5-minute mark.
It was only last year when Stephen Newport was a regular in the Melbourne side.
I think he might have been almost a state player or a state contender at least.
Well, he may have made a squad, I think. He just hasn't been able to crack it for a game this year. And he's been cooling his heels on the interchange bench, but that's the way they impress the coach when you come onto the ground.
Particularly with a potential finals berth coming up. That time to play well as then. Bailey gets yet another kick from the centre of the ground. Well played, Healy. Very slick to Jackson. Jackson kicks to an open goal, and Jackson thumps for you a beauty. And this is the first time that they've really looked good, and the Demon fans are going quite ecstatic down there. You'd swear there's only a point in it.
That's 3 in a minute.
That must be a record.
Close to it. Each time straight out of the centre. Bailey's got the kick out of the centre on both occasions, and well, would have kicked a goal.
He's done that a lot this year, Bailey. He's a very strong, rugged ruck rover, and he really does bore in. We see Keane now sprinting from the forward line into that centre square to take the knockout, because Big Stynes has done very, very well.
As the walls are caving in for the West Coast Eagles, it's a disappointing end. Love it. Newport, stretch well tackled by Lewis. Hart dodging and ducking, clearing a path and delivering well. The Demon spoilers have been strong. Sharon, Lamb, Yeats took a long time, did it effectively. Ooh, keen barging stuff. Grinter. Well nullified by Malaxos. Ball up on the centre line.
And Stynes, he wasn't too happy about all that. He was going to go on with it, was the big Irishman. But there was a trainer there said, come out of it. Very appropriately. Laurie Keane looking very angry with the performance of the side. O'Dwyer's into him, showing what it's all about. Ian Robertson talking to them. Free kick goes to Keane, dodges around Bailey, steadies, sends a long one down towards centre half forward. Great leap. Best mark on the ground tonight is the brilliant Irishman. Off he goes and kicks it out wide, and he's looking very unhappy and having a little altercation with one of the West Coast Eagles behind play. But it's been a spectacular performance by number 27, Sean White. He's the one I think could be really a top player.
Well, the Eagles look so lethargic tonight that you've got to ask the question that being on the road for, what, 9 days and living out of a suitcase in Queensland and back to Melbourne, it must have some effect.
Lamb to fall forward, beat the pack, hasn't been touched yet. Stretch to space. Lovett. 2 demons inside him. Newport back to Lovett. Forward of the wing now. Spearing pass. Viney and Williams. Viney beautifully. Tightest angle, so he centres perfectly. Bailey, have a shot, son. You're only 20 metres out directly in front. Good stats again for Bret Bailey, who's put in a tremendous season for the Demons. Kicked the winning goal in the night final. Misses this set shot. At the 19-minute mark, it's Melbourne by 61 points.
Bret Bailey is the only Melbourne player who's played every game for the season, and he really has been a wonderful contributor. Brennan goes charging off. Newport's looked good since he came on. Some wonderfully slick hand passes. Out wide it goes to Ross Glendinning. And Roscoe's getting boos from the very partisan Melbourne crowd. McNish gets a very awkward one. He's still got an opportunity. Sean White, he dodges him. Can't pick it up. Can't pick it up. Then tumbled it out to Holmes. Out it comes to Rob Wiley. And Robbie, good-looking left foot up, puts it right through the centre. Nope. Well, I must be in the wrong angle. I thought that was absolutely central. That's his 3rd behind.
And he's had an opportunity, I suppose, to kick about 5 goals tonight, Robbie Wiley. He's just really hasn't had his kicking boot on, and he's missed a couple of golden opportunities.
Ground level, Sharon tackling Glendinning, not in possession. And Roscoe takes the free between centre and half forward. Places the ball for the lead from Ischenko. Lewis off the outside of the foot, kicks brilliantly. It would have been a fine goal and it was on its way through, but Hughes in the way. Lovely hand pass. And Newport drives it to the centre line where it is all Melbourne. Coop, now Bailey, as Greg Healy's had enough for the night. Williams on the half-forward flank.
How many marks has he taken?
10 yards close to the line.
10 yards inside the boundary line on that 50-metre mark.
Long shot for goal. Centres it, or in fact goes across the face, as it turns out. Another behind. We won't put that one beside his name. We'll keep him at 1-5, and we'll call it rushed.
Well, he's kicked 3 rush.
That's very clever. Well, he really does get the ball well, does David Williams. But because of his physique, he's got to lead, and he leads wide instead of straight at them. And consequently, of course, the angle's there, and Steve Malaxos will be saying a few unkind words with that football. It bounced away from him when he hoped it would just hesitate. And over it goes out of bounds. There's the handballs. Melbourne 95 to 85. The average number of handballs in the competition this year has been just over 100 per team.
It's a bit different at Subiaco. On that occasion, as the ball ran away from Malaxos, he was roundly given the Bronx as he chased after it in vain. At Subiaco, they would have been right behind him. Here's Holmes, sprinting goalward. Can he make it 10 out of 10? At last, even he misses. And the Eagles trail by around 60 points.
This is one of Melbourne's on-field leaders. Danny Hughes leads by example. And look out forwards. He hates them all. What a great kick. Straight to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer tries the short stuff out in the direction of Lovett. Lovett is very nicely shepherded and very strong. Decides to give a hand pass and doesn't do it all that well, but there's still chance for Newport. Newport back it goes. And it's Chiron. Kicks it very long. Don't tell me that will hit the post.
He's a disciplined defender, charging back down the ground after doing a bit of running into attack. And apparently that's a reason John Northey decided to take him on, because he knew of him from Bendigo and knew that he was a player who would keep his mind on the job. Zanotti to half forward. Glendinning penalised for holding the ball. He didn't dive on it, he fell onto it. Spalding takes the free, kicks to half forward. Lockyer goes for touch, just finds it. Melbourne's half forward flank. The U's and the R's from the Melbourne supporters. Haven't had a great deal to cheer about for some 23 years, but tonight's one of those nights when you can really let go.
Yeah, it's a Maxwell Smart, and loving it tonight they are. Murray Keane comes in, the little man gets it out. Downfielder comes toward full forward. Left foot snap. Viney. Todd Viney. And been a very prolific possession getter. Important part of the side. There it is. Whoops. Yeats. Zanotti. Why, I'll never know. Oh, Yeats is furious. He's really on.
Well, that's silly play by the Melbourne players, Doug, because with the finals chance for the side, it's no good sitting in the grandstand. If you get reported, when you're so far in front, I mean, the opposition can do anything they like to you, because it's just ridiculous to run the risk of being booked for an indiscretion.
Yes, it's absolutely absurd, Kev, to miss a chance that may come up of playing in the finals, and Yeats has had such a spectacular season for Melbourne. And umpire Ian Robertson was running around the periphery there looking very energetic, and it was a teammate Newport who actually grabbed hold of his hand and stopped him from swinging it, I think.
Well, when you haven't played in the final for 23 years, you'd kick yourself if you got reported when you're about 12 goals up and you were suspended.
Listen to the crowd. Melbourne.
How many years since you've heard that, Doug? Probably 23.
That's about that same amount, Kev. 23, yeah.
Time on in the last quarter. The D's are 67 points in front in the first of two crucial games for them. Next week they go to the Western Oval. If they win that, they're almost certainly in the finals. Coop, with Brennan in the way, kicks the ball back to the centre wing. Glendinning giving White a shove, but pushing him into the ball, almost into the fence. And the wild man from Scotland and Ireland has played a slasher tonight. Big spoil from Lockyer. Lewis, then wearing the fumble. Coop, Lyon now. 70 metres from goal. Inside 50, Brennan. Gastev. Short chip. Worsfold.
Very wide. Lamb. The left footer kicks it poorly. Gwinter could have taken that one, I think. That was punched very strongly by Chiron, but it went to Gastev. Gastev eludes a tackle, rides it, gets a hand pass out. Hart then kicks poorly, goes wide. Might have gone to the right area for him, because it goes to Glendinning, who takes a splendid chest mark. Glendinning just been a bit too skilled for Spalding. Spalding, in some ways, a bit of a problem player. Got wonderful ability and yet seems to drift out of the game at times. Great physique, 6'4.5", and wanted as a key position player for the Demons, but he's up against huge skills and wonderful player in Glendinning, who maximises his opportunities, always kicks well. That's his second for the night. Not of great importance when you see 17, it's his third, when you see 17-21 to 9-8.
You see the wild punch away there by Dean Chiron, and little Gastev not fumbling. And good evasive tactics there. Remained pretty cool to get that across the heart. And you see Roscoe here just using his body, just turning his back at the right time. Pretty hard to beat like that, Ross Glendinning, when he's one out. He's got terrific use of his body.
The Eagles picking a bad night to kick their second lowest score of the year. Their lowest score, their lowest in VFL football, was against St Kilda when they kicked just 6-13-49. Tonight they've amassed a total of 62 points from 14 scoring shots. And Melbourne have had 21 more than that in building up a massive lead. High tackle, says umpire Howlett. Free kick to Coop, who is 55 metres out, a little bit further perhaps. Gets a lead, a good lead from Lyon. Jackson takes it. Stynes, the big man, doesn't quite make the distance. Newport with plenty of courage gets the goal, a beauty. Well done, Stephen Newport, who's kicked 2 rippers in this last quarter. And it's Melbourne by 67 points.
It's going to be hard to keep out of the side, this one, isn't it, Kevin?
When you're hot, you're hot. And little Ricky Jackson and Styne got onto his boot pretty quick under a bit of pressure. It's good play here by Newport. If he had have ran just straight into Brennan, he would have given away the free kick, but you're allowed to run straight at the player as long as you don't touch him, and he really used his head then. He virtually put Brennan off, took away his concentration, yet didn't touch him, and then, of course, just picked up the crumb and kicked the goal.
I guess the one certainly to come back into this side is Warren Dean. Wilson overran him that time. Malaxos yet another possession to Worsfold, who's also played well, kicks it well to Wiley. Wiley then hurries when he maybe should have gone back, kicks it high. Underneath it, Sharon goes the big punch and thumps it out to the boundary line, and Hughes leads in the run for it. Turns out of trouble. Oh, then he kicks it, but he kicks it safely to Lovett, right across the face of goal, which used to be the unpardonable sin, but no longer. Long run, down it comes. What a well-directed kick, and here comes Williams. He's superbly shepherded. Downfield he goes, Viney the shepherder. Williams hooks it across, didn't do it all that well, and underneath it is Lockyer, who takes a well-timed mark.
And speaking of time, it's almost up. Close to 30 minutes gone in the last quarter. The Demons have kicked 6 goals, 6 in this last term. The Eagles have managed 3 goals, 3. Spalding, stretch. Now White, and the crowd love him. Stynes, Bailey, a long way out on the half-forward flank, and not a lot to kick to. White off the ground. It's straight to Worsfold at half-back, and now the running Zanotti.
Zanotti, that peculiar little short kick he does, but does it well that time out to Barrich. Back to Zanotti. He'll have to hurry with it. Palms away from Newport, did it pretty well. Underneath it is Spalding. Almost taken by Lovett. Glendinning gets the ball once again. He's beaten Spalding again. Sharon out wide has been excellent to Wilson, who's been brilliant as usual. Henny kicks a good-looking kick. It should have been marked that time by Yeats. Yeats has got a second opportunity. The ball still stays in play, which gives the chance to Brennan. Brennan's at centre wing position. Little Holmes has got the chance. Nobody with him. Holmes did it brilliantly to Hart. Hart will run into goal from about 25 metres out. He kicks for goal, and this time notches a major. That's his second. And Melbourne supporters still enjoying it. Boo it through.
Well, little Holmes tapped this over pretty well here to Hart, who had the opportunity to really explode away. He has got blistering pace, Hart, and he's a very good kick on the run. Not always easy to do when you're running flat out, but he does it very, very well.
And a lone blue and gold flag in the crowd was waving behind the goals. Not too many West Coast Eagles supporters in Melbourne, and they haven't had too much to cheer about. Ischenko, the knock forward, but Lovett drives Melbourne back into attack. Almost 32 minutes gone in the final quarter. Bailey again. Viney, who's kicked one good goal in this term, was looking for the short pass, but didn't make a very good fist of that. The D's deep in attack, throw it in their forward pocket.
There's the siren. And Melbourne have won a crucial match and won it very well. 18-21, 129. a magnificent victory over the West Coast Eagles, 10-8, 68, and the Demons stay in the struggle for the final.
High-scoring final quarter as Melbourne kicked 6-6 to the Eagles 4-3. Keane and Steve O'Dwyer, not the best of mates, but O'Dwyer would be having the last laugh, and he'll be celebrating along with a packed MCC members area. The Demon fans have loved it tonight as their beloved long-suffering Demons have crept to within one win of playing in the finals for the first time since 1964. They're back in the dark blue of their halcyon days for the first time in many years after wearing royal blue, and it seems that the change might coincide with the return of some good times. Their major goal kicker tonight was Greg Healy with 4, 2 each to Flower, Wilson and Newport. And for the Eagles, 3 to Glendinning, 2 each to Keane, Holmes and Hart. Melbourne winners by 61 points in the first match of round 21.